Hey guys, just watched Eva Green naked. A Sin City, a Dame to Kill For. That has Eva Green naked. I'm not a big fan of the original movie, but I do appreciate it. I thought it was a very good movie. I thought it was a fun, entertaining flick. I really love the style, and I do like most of the stories. I thought the most boring story is Dwight's story, the one with Clive Owen. I do like all the characters, though. It's just, I don't know, Dwight's story, it seemed too long, and it keeps going on and on and on, and I honestly like Marv's story and Bruce Willis' story much better. Heck, I even like the short Josh Hartnett story, so nothing against Clive Owen, Rosario Dawson, and everyone else in his story. It just feels a bit boring to me compared to the other ones. But as a whole, the narrative, the story structure, the arc, it worked out pretty well. And the film noir, it was good. I really liked it. So now, after almost 10 years, we have the sequel, Sin City, A Dame to Kill For. If this movie came out a couple years after the original, I would say this movie is as good as the original. But it's 2014, it's almost 10 years, and I honestly expected this movie to be a lot better than the final product we have right now. It's not a bad movie. It isn't. I had fun with it. I thought it was a decent flick. It's just, because of the stories they chose for it, it should have been, I don't know, it should have been a lot better than what we have. The stories in the original movie felt like they actually matter. They felt very important. But here, because most of the movie is like a prequel to the original movie, I felt like it doesn't have that much at stake, you know? Even though the main villain, well, two main villains. Senator Rourke is the secondary main villain, but the main villain of the movie is Eva Green's character, Ava Lord. Like I said, because it's a prequel, everyone knows exactly what's going to happen at the end of each story. It doesn't feel as important. I mean, it's kind of like the origin story for all these guys, but I don't know, it felt kind of unnecessary. It was nice to see everyone back, well, the people who came back anyway, and yeah, Marv is great. Mickey Rourke played a very awesome Marv. He was great in the original movie. I'm so glad he came back for this one, and even though he has a bit of a beer belly right now, he kicks so much ass, and even with him, he feels totally unnecessary. He really does. His intro sequence in the beginning lasted for 5 minutes, and it didn't go anywhere. It felt like a side story, you know, something that is like from a 5-page comic strip, that kind of thing. That's how it feels like. And the rest of the movie, I think the only one that has something important is Nancy's story. That's because it's the sequel to the Yellow Bastard story from the original movie. Jessica Alba, I honestly thought she did a much better job here than she did in the original movie, but when she finally becomes psychotic and dresses up like a biker girl and has scars on her face with stitches, it's nice to see her portray a character that's out of her usual acting range, but at the same time, it kind of feels like it's a Barbie doll version of a biker chick. She's not bad. She's beautiful, and she does a lot more with this role than I've seen her do with any other roles in the past 10 years, actually. So, at least she's improving, but at the same time, we have so many good actors and actresses here, and, you know, Eva Green, Bruce Willis, Ray Liotta, Mickey Rourke, Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and Christopher Lloyd is also in this movie, man. I'm gonna go into spoilers right now, so if you're really interested in watching this movie, go right ahead. It's a fun movie. The visuals are outstanding, but if you are a die-hard fan of the original movie, you might like this one, but go into it with lower expectations because this movie is not as good as the original movie. I felt like it should have if this movie came out like a couple years after the original, but no, it's almost 10 years. You expected like a big sequel. Yeah, sometimes if a sequel's too big, then people really hate it, and they think, oh, they only cared about the special effects and stuff, but yeah, these stories feel very restrained. I mean, they don't really explode on the screen. Like I said, because it's more like prequels, it kind of feels unnecessary to watch them because we all know what's going to happen at the end of each story, except for the Nancy one, which is actually a sequel to the original one. So from now on, spoilers. Marv's intro sequence, which I really liked, but even though I said it's unnecessary, I'm just glad to see him again. Basically, he finally wakes up and he realizes he's in a car accident and he was chasing down these guys, and the first line he says is like, How the hell did I get over here? Oh, my medicine. I should take my medicine. Yeah, he's popping pills and trying to retrace his steps on exactly why he's there. So it turns out that he was just at Nancy's strip club, and then after that, he sees some hooligans burning people, you know, pouring oil all over them and burning them, and then Mickey Rourke chases them down with his car and beats the living shit out of them. That's it. That's the intro story right there. And then it goes to the awesome title sequence where it shows each actor's name and the character who they're portraying as. So I thought that was a very well done title sequence. I'm glad about this. This is my favorite title sequence so far this year. And then the story structure kind of gets a bit weird because it goes straight into the Joseph Gordon-Levitt story, but shows only the first half of it. Then it goes straight to Dwight's story, shows it entirely. Yeah, the majority of the movie is Dwight's story, which is basically A Dame to Kill For. It shows Eva Green and Josh Brolin. And yeah, that story is the most flashed out of all of them. Then it goes back to the second half of Joseph Gordon-Levitt's story. Then it finally concludes itself with Nancy's story. I don't know why they had to do it that way. Seriously, I don't understand the placement of these stories, and because of the placement, the timeline confused the hell out of me. The Joseph Gordon-Levitt story I felt was a bit disappointing because I felt like the ending should have been a bang or something like that, but no. I understand what they're going with, and yeah, it makes sense, but at the same time, I don't know, because this is a sequel, I guess I expected more, and I don't know, if this is from the comics, I'm not sure, but Joseph Gordon-Levitt is a suave, charismatic, very, very lucky guy who's very smart, and he's a gambler. And so what I love about him is that when he checks up the slot machines, he knows which slot machine will let him win. And then he keeps getting money like that very quickly. And then he decides to challenge Senator Rourke, and he wins. Yeah, the Joseph Gordon-Levitt wins, and Senator Rourke is very pissed off, so he threatened to kill Joseph Gordon-Levitt, but at first he just wounded him. So he breaks Joseph Gordon-Levitt's fingers off, and shoots Joseph Gordon-Levitt in the leg, and also chops off Joseph Gordon-Levitt's kinda girlfriend. He just met her that day. He calls her his lucky charm. Yeah, the lucky charm. So he kills, Senator Rourke kills her, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt wants revenge. He wants to show to everyone that Senator Rourke could be beaten. Joseph Gordon-Levitt goes to Christopher Lloyd, and yeah, it's a very small cameo, but I loved seeing him in this one. Christopher Lloyd is basically like a drugged up, drunk Doc Brown. He's the doctor, and whatever Joseph Gordon-Levitt pays him, he does the medication or procedures with that amount of money. So Joseph Gordon-Levitt only has $40, and Doc Brown's like, oh yes, $40, so that means that I'm gonna, you know, use popsicle sticks and use them as splints for your fingers. And then he takes Joseph Gordon-Levitt's shoes also, so that made me laugh. And then Joseph Gordon-Levitt meets up with Lady Gaga. I don't get this cameo. I know that she was in Machete Kills, but she actually did something in Machete Kills. Here, I don't get it. Is she a big fan of Robert Rodriguez? Is she a big fan of Frank Miller? Are they friends? Or is it because she was in Machete Kills? I have no idea. I didn't get that part. She didn't do anything. She just gave Joseph Gordon-Levitt $1. $1, and that was it. You don't see her ever again. She doesn't say anything funny. She doesn't say anything cool. She doesn't even sing. I don't get it. And her character's name is Bertha also, so okay, I guess it's kind of funny, haha. And then Joseph Gordon-Levitt challenges Senator Rourke again to a card game, and Joseph Gordon-Levitt wins again, and then Senator Rourke just shoots Joseph Gordon-Levitt in the head. But the other gang leaders who were playing the game also finally realize that Senator Rourke is not as badass as he seems. So I guess that's how it should end, I guess. I don't know. I kind of expect Joseph Gordon-Levitt to wound Senator Rourke in some physical way. But no, he only wounded his pride. So I don't know. If you like that kind of story, then that's good for you. But for me, I don't know. I kind of expected something more. Kind of like how Leonidas scarred Xerxes for the rest of his life, and people know that he's not the God King. That kind of thing. And then we get to the Josh Brolin Dwight story. I'm kind of sad that Clive Owen didn't come back. I thought he was a good Dwight, but Josh Brolin, though, I thought he was a good replacement. And he played a different Dwight, too. He played someone with a lot of anger issues. A lot of anger issues. You could see it in Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I am so sorry. Josh Brolin's eyes. You could see the anger in Josh Brolin's eyes. He keeps saying, I must not let the monster out. I gotta keep the monster inside. He was driving extremely quickly, and then he does a 360 turn, and then he's like, ah, that kind of thing. He wants to kill people, but he doesn't also, so yeah, I really like Josh Brolin's performance in this one. And then we see another cameo by Ray Liotta and Juno Temple. Juno Temple, I keep forgetting that she's like 25. She looks and sounds so young, like she's like 13 years old. I keep thinking that she's a minor because we keep seeing her naked in movies. She was naked in Killer Joe and she's naked in this one. So that keeps, I don't know, making me feel uneasy, but at least she's 25, so okay, that's okay, I guess. So Ray Liotta is banging Juno Temple, and Ray Liotta was very good, even though he's only in it for 5 minutes. I really like his performance, because his wife found out that Ray Liotta's cheating on his wife, and he knows that something's up with Juno Temple, so he had no choice but to kill Juno Temple. So he grabs the gun, and Juno Temple's like, wait, you don't have to kill me. I promise I won't tell anyone. And Ray Liotta's like, I know, baby, I know, but I have no choice, okay? I have no choice. This hurts me, then it's more, and it's gonna hurt you, okay? I love you, but I have to do this. And then Josh Brolin crashes through the window and kicks Ray Liotta's ass, and we don't see Ray Liotta again. He doesn't die. He's just handcuffed to the bed and beaten up by Josh Brolin. That was it. And then we don't see Juno Temple ever again for that one, so I don't know. I felt like these cameos don't go anywhere, but at the same time, I did like Ray Liotta's performance. I thought he was very good. And then Josh Brolin meets up with Eva Green. You know, what I love about the Sin City movies is their choices for colors. Yes, the movies are mostly in black and white, but there are some colors that they actually show. Like, sometimes if the blood is extremely red, or sometimes the red lipstick, or the golden hair of Blondie or Goldie. I forgot Jamie King's character name in the first movie. Yeah, something like that. Or sometimes some of the girls actually show their skin color, like the peach and stuff. Or they're vibrant. These colors are so vibrant. So when Eva Green finally shows up, I remember in the trailers that her eyes and her lips, her eyes are bright green and her lips are bright red. But when you first see her, the only bright color is her jacket, which is bright blue. And it's a vibrant blue. It's a very beautiful blue. But her eyes and her lips, you could see a hint of color, but you mostly see just grayscale. So I thought that was a neat choice for her colors. And then later on, as she gets more evil, more sadistic, and uses men for her gain, her control and stuff, the actual colors show on her face. The eyes become much brighter in green, and her lips become much brighter in red. And I love her character. She is basically a siren. She uses men for whatever she wants. And she does kind of love Josh Brolin for some reason. I don't really know. She keeps thinking that Josh Brolin is the only man that really understood her. So that's why she keeps trying... She wants to kill him, but at the same time, she keeps hesitating to kill him. So she's trying to find another way and stuff. So I like that. I really did. Yeah, like I said, she's a siren. She uses her body. She uses her beauty to get men to do whatever she wants, including Josh Brolin. All she has to do is show up to his apartment, naked, lying on bed, and they fuck. And yeah, you see her swimming in the swimming pool in slow motion naked. You see her taking a bath naked. You see her having sex with all the other men naked. If you're worried about the Jessica Alba not showing any nudity and you're pissed off about that, don't worry, guys and women. Eva Green is mostly naked and she's beautiful to look at. That body is a work of art, seriously. So later on, Josh Brolin gets betrayed by Eva Green, and then he undergoes surgery because Eva Green shoots him in the face where his eyeball was actually popping out. And that was creepy. That was gross. Especially with the grayscale effect. It was just, ugh. So he gets plastic surgery and he ends up looking like Hush from Batman. So I almost want to see a Batman movie with Josh Brolin as Hush. He pulled it off. He's only under the bandages for like 30 seconds and I thought he was very intimidating. I really like Josh Brolin under the bandages. I think he can pull off Hush very well. And then after he takes off the bandages, first, they tried to make him look like Clive Owen from the original movie, and I thought that was kind of weird. Yeah, you see Josh Brolin with something some prosthetics on his face trying to make him look more like Clive Owen, and his hair looks exactly like Clive Owen's hair from the original movie, but because of Josh Brolin's eyes, you can really tell that it's still Josh Brolin, even under that makeup and under the wig. So it was just weird. It was a huge distraction. I keep looking at that when I should have focused on the story, and even though they only showed that for like a minute, it was very distracting to me. So at that time, I'm like, why didn't they just get Clive Owen to film like a minute? Seriously, because I think in the original movie they mentioned that Clive Owen underwent plastic surgery. His character underwent plastic surgery. So just get Clive Owen to do it for like a minute. Why not? Just get paid, Clive Owen. Josh Brolin shoots at Eva Green, and that kind of got me sad, but I knew it was coming anyway. And then it goes back to the Joseph Gordon-Levitt story, the second half, but I already told you that he dies, and then it goes to the Nancy story. And this story I thought was very interesting. I really did like this one. But Jessica Alba tried her best. She really tried. It wasn't enough, kinda. I mean, her as a drunk stripper, I could buy. When she's trying to be a badass biker chick with scars on her face, sometimes she seems intimidating, but other times it's like a Barbie doll. You know, you're playing with a Barbie doll and you're pretending that she kicks ass also, because the entire time, her character, she practices with Bruce Willis's gun, which is the Magnum or the hand cannon or something like that. So she practiced so much with that. Then all of a sudden, she's killing everyone with a crossbow, a weapon that I don't think she ever used before in her life, and she's an ace at it. Seriously, she's killing guys like Legolas from the Lord of the Rings movies. What? And she can jump over a fence 20 feet into the air? And what? It was weird. I mean, this movie is highly stylized, and I love it, but at the same time, her segment, for some reason, I keep noticing the fake green screen behind her, that kind. While the other stories, I felt like the characters that they're portraying and the environments they're in, it fits. But when you see Jessica Alba and then she's doing all these crazy shit, it just didn't fully work for me. But I did like the ending with her when she finally encounters Senator Rourke and was about to shoot him in the head, but it cuts to black, you hear a gunshot, and then you see the end credits. That's how it ends. What I like about all these stories is two characters keep popping up in all the stories. Marv and Nancy. Marv is a background character. Seriously, the intro story, that's his story, basically. It's the only significant role he does. In the other stories, he's either just looking at Nancy in the background or drinking alcohol, or he's so bored that he wants to help Josh Brolin or Nancy. Seriously, he's just bored. He's like, oh, I want to crack some skulls, but no one's telling me to help them yet. I think at one point, he actually asked Joseph Gordon-Levitt that he wants to kill Senator Rourke, but Joseph Gordon-Levitt's like, nah, I can handle it on my own. And Mickey Rourke is like, fine. God damn it, I'm bored. Mickey Rourke was badass, but at the same time, his character was really unnecessary. Sure, he helped out Dwight for Dwight's story, but he only did it for like 5 minutes. He was just beating up man, I forgot the guy's name in the movie, but Michael Clarke Duncan played him in the original movie, and I'm sad that Michael Clarke Duncan passed away because I would have loved to see him again in that role. But the guy who portrays that guy, who keeps looking like a bellhop to me, is the Allstate guy, the guy from the president from 24. He was intimidating. I did like him. Dennis Haysbert, that's his name. And I thought he was good. And you do see the kind of origins of his character. You see him before his eye gets taken out and replaced with a golden eyeball. So Mickey Rourke just beats the living shit out of him and then takes out his eye. What? Okay, I bought it. And then later on, Mickey Rourke helps out Nancy, and he's using double huge-ass shotguns and blasting people to bits. 4 people were coming toward him very rapidly, and then he just shoots all of them with the shotguns, and they get blasted away into smithereens. I love it. But the problem is the henchmen are terrible. Seriously. You have Mickey Rourke. He's basically like RoboCop, just walking very slowly to the enemies, and then people are trying to shoot at him, but they miss. How? It's Marv, god damn it, he's as huge as a freaking house and he's How do you miss him? Seriously, the only reason why Marv finally gets injured at the end of Nancy's story is because that he just made one mistake. He's like, ah, crap, I didn't know that guy was gonna shoot me. Seriously, that was it. Everyone else was trying to shoot him, but they couldn't. It's not like he's super fast. No, they just have bad aiming, really. That's the only reason. They have assault rifles. They could have gotten one shot off on Marv, but no, they didn't. And Marv, after Marva loses the shotguns, he basically beats the living shit out of people with his fists. I don't get it. Well, it's Sin City. I bought it anyway, and Marv was awesome. Stacy Keach is in this movie, and I was very surprised about his character. I thought, when you saw him in the title sequence and the character he's going to portray, I didn't even know that Stacy Keach was in the movie until I saw the title sequence. I'm like, he's going to play that very ugly guy in the fat suit with the warts and all? Ooh, this is going to be awesome. Stacy Keach was only in it for 30 seconds. His character did nothing. He talked with Eva Green for like 30 seconds and then you don't see him ever again. He's not even mentioned. I don't get that. You have a very talented actor like Stacy Keach and only use him for 30 seconds and he's under all that makeup and shit? And you only use him for that? That's why I felt like this movie was cut. Yeah, this movie is very short, actually. It's almost 100 minutes, so I felt like this movie was cut down too much. And it's not like they're trying to make it PG-13 or anything. No, it's a full-on rated R, so I wonder what scenes did they cut. And I felt like I seen more Stacy Keach scenes in the trailers. So I thought that was weird. Bruce Willis is back in this movie, and he's basically a ghost. Seriously, he's doing the same thing he did in The Sixth Sense. I don't know. He doesn't do much. He's basically the Sixth Sense Bruce Willis and also Dennis Leary Ghost from Amazing Spider-Man 2. Bruce Willis doesn't even do much. He's only in it for like 5 minutes max and all he repeats is, Nancy, I love you. Please don't do this. Nancy, I love you. Please don't do this. That's it. There's a scene with two actors I really like, Jeremy Piven and Christopher Maloney, and they were in the Dwight story, the Dame to Kill For. So Christopher Maloney got a hard-on for Eva Green, and basically Eva Green is trying to seduce him and trying to, lure him into the dark side, so I don't blame him. I want to fuck Eva Green. So he fucked Eva Green, and then, he's in love with Eva Green, basically, and Jeremy Piven's like, you're in love with that whore? Dude, you're a cop. Stop doing this. And Christopher Maloney's like, stop calling her a whore. And then shoots Jeremy Piven in the head. And then Christopher Maloney shoots himself in the head. Yeah, that's it. I want to see more with these guys because you don't really see that much from the cop's point of view in these movies, in these kind of movies. But they just die. That's it. It's not important to the story. Their deaths mean nothing in the story. So I felt like that was a wasted opportunity there too. And there are some parts where I felt like it's unintentionally funny. Like, for example, Senator Rourke has pictures of his son, who is the yellow bastard. But which pictures did he keep on his walls? When he's the yellow bastard. Seriously, no. You don't want to keep pictures of your son before he becomes the hideous-looking, smelly, ugly, yellow bastard. No. You want those pictures. Because the entire time you see a picture of Nick Stahl's yellow bastard, and he's just smirking like this the entire time. All over Senator Rourke's walls. And this was during the scene where Nancy was shot by Senator Rourke, and she's about to get killed off by Senator Rourke, and the entire time you're looking at his walls, the pictures of the yellow bastard. It was a distraction. It was kind of funny. And then, Bruce Willis haunted Senator Rourke, and that's when Jessica Alba managed to shoot Senator Rourke and was about to kill him. They recasted Miho, and I'm kind of sad that Devon Aoki didn't come back for the role, but Jamie Chung, I thought she pulled it off. She was badass. She's hot. She kills people. She chops off people's limbs. She chops off people's heads. She looked great. I thought she was fine. She was good. And Rosario Dawson is back, but she's barely in the movie. It's basically a 30-second cameo. She just talks to Dwight and was wearing like a bondage mask, and she's like, oh my god, Dwight, I love you. Just stay with me. That's it. That's all she does. She doesn't do anything else much. Jamie King is back, and she's also in it for like 30 seconds. She's basically playing the twin sisters. And there's no Josh Hartnett's character. A character I really like the original movie, and I want to see more of, but they don't have him in here. I'm kind of sad about that. And, yeah, that's basically all the characters you see for this movie. Most of them come back, some of them are recasted, but Yeah, this movie, because of the stories they picked and the timeline got me confused because Nancy's story has Marv still alive. So I know that Marv got electrocuted in the first movie. So I don't know, the timeline of this doesn't make sense to me. But these stories, because they are more like prequels, well, it's a lot like 300 Rise of an Empire, but 300 Rise of an Empire, it felt like more is at stake, you know, because it is a prequel and then it's a sequel. But it felt like very more important because it is Xerxes' story and he wants to take over Sparta and stuff, so I was okay with that. But here, because it is more of a prequel, I felt like it was kind of unnecessary. But even unnecessary, it is still a very stylish movie. Visually stunning. It is gorgeous. Wow, it's so gorgeous. And the characters, all the actors and actresses basically did a very good job. They were so good, especially Ray Liotta and his performance. I thought he was one of the best actors in this movie. But if you want to go see this movie, watch it at least for Eva Green. Because not only is she naked, but her character, I love her character so much. She is so good. I loved her playing basically a siren. If you like this movie, please write down in the comments below. How do you feel about the movie? Do you feel like this movie is worth almost 10 years to wait? I think this movie should have came out last year, but they delayed it to this year. So I was wondering, oh, they're going to fix up more of the stories. They're going to put something in or something like that. But no, I felt like there's a lot of effort put into it, but at the same time, I felt like more should have been in it. This movie actually felt like a filler kind of movie to me. I felt like this is a kind of movie where not everything is at stake, it's not as important as it should be, but at the same time, you have all these characters that you know and love, and you just want to see more stories with them, and that's it. So, that's how I feel about this movie. If this movie came out like a couple of years after the original, I think everyone would have loved it even more. But for now, I gotta say, I am a bit disappointed, but I did have fun. I really did. I liked the characters, and I thought the stories were good for the most part, but they don't feel like they have the same impact that the original movie did with their stories. If you already saw this movie, please write down in the comments below, how do you feel about it? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Is it worth 10 years to wait? Almost 10 years to wait. Did you think this is as good as the original movie? Better or worse? Please let me know. Oh, and also let me know which story did you like the most. I gotta say, A Dame to Kill For was the best story, but I think Marv's introduction, that was the most entertaining one. I just really love Marv. He was great. If you like this video, please click the like button. If you'd like to subscribe, there's a button here for subscribing. So until next time, guys, see you later.